Hi. This video is coming at you for several reasons, okay? Number one, I'm fucking over summer. I'm over this heat. I wanted to film outside today, but it is swelteringly hot. I am ready for cooler weather. I'm ready for fall. Fall is my favorite season of the entire year. So yeah, I'm already looking ahead, okay? I don't know what to tell you. I'm over this shit. Yeah, I want something to look forward to, and September is when everything gets better for me. Number two, I am in quite literally the worst reading slump of my entire life. And I think going over all these new releases will get me excited to read again and excited for new books that are coming out. And again, something to look forward to. And number three, I didn't realize how many incredible new releases are coming out in September. I have over 35 new releases to share with you today that are coming out in just September. I'm here today to give you all of the ones that I am most excited about. Some are from authors that I know and love with all my heart. Some are from authors that I've never read from, but they're coming out with new books and I'm still interested in reading their books. Some of them are cozy fall, spooky season books that I'm just really excited to read because I love reading holiday books. Let's start off with all of the new releases coming out on September 1st. The first book being, of course, Deadbeat by Leigh Bardugo. This is the third book in the Alex Stern series, and I have not read the series at all. I have been waiting for the last book to come out so I could binge it. It's dark academia, fantasy. I love Leigh Bardugo's writing, so I'm really excited to finally get into the Ninth House trilogy. Next, on September 1st, we have Before You Were Anne by Emiko Jean. And this is a follow-up book to the first book that I read a couple years ago, The Return of Ellie Black. This is the second book in the series, which I didn't know was going to be in the series, but this is a mystery thriller series. And I really enjoyed the first one. And the second one follows the same detective. Her name is Chelsea. This is a new mystery that uncovers a legacy of violence and survival that spans from Japan to Seattle. I really enjoyed the first book in this series, and I can't wait for the next one. Then we have Understory by Chloe Benjamin. Now, the reason why this is on my radar is because Chloe Benjamin wrote The Immortalists back in 2017, no, I think it's 2018. The Immortalists was the first book that my best friend and I had buddy read in our adulthood. We used to buddy read books all the time in high school, and The Immortalist was the first book that we read together as adults, and I had the best experience with that. I really enjoyed that book as well. And now Chloe Benjamin is coming out with a new book. I think this is actually the first book that this author has come out with since The Immortalists, I want to say. So it's been years since this author has come out with something new. This is an intimate yet epic love story and a sweeping odyssey of scientific discovery. Understory invites us to consider the promise of this life, what might lie beyond it, and how far we would go for more time with the people we love. I almost kind of want to reread The Immortalists, but this is coming out and I'm really excited to get a new book from this author. All right, and then of course on September 1st we have Taipei Story by R.F. Kuang. I don't know anyone that isn't anticipating this. I'm really excited. You guys know this is an R.F. Kuang household. We love R.F. Kuang here. I will say though, Catabasis was a bit of a letdown, and part of the reason why I didn't like that was because of the romance in it. I don't know if R.F. Kuang is the best at writing romances, and apparently this is a romance or a contemporary literary fiction book and with a romance subplot. And I don't know how it's gonna go. We'll see. But nonetheless, I am excited for this to come out. Next, we have The Birthing Tree by Amanda Peters. This is the author of The Berry Pickers, which I read last year and absolutely loved. It was so riveting, very gripping, very emotional. It says that this is an unforgettable novel of family legacy and the secrets that bind and endanger us, following one woman as she confronts buried truths, memories of passionate young love, and the fragile future she alone must protect. I am expecting this to be just as emotional and moving as The Berry Pickers, so really excited for this one. Next, on September 1st, coming out is A Fall to Remember by Ellie Alexander. Ellie Alexander has a cozy mystery series that I binged all of, I think, 2024 and 2025, but this is actually going to be a fall cozy romance. And as I said, I love any holiday themed books, any fall romances, any Halloween romances, any Christmas romances. Like, I love any holiday romance books. If you love cozy small town settings, swoon-worthy autumn vibes, second chance romance, and the Gilmore Girls, pour yourself a pumpkin spice latte and curl up with A Fall to Remember. This is giving cozy, it's giving fall, it's giving romance. Love. Okay, the next book coming out on September 1st, I need everyone to sit the fuck down, okay? A book called The Pumpkin Bride by Fiona Buttercup is coming out. It is a cozy fantasy romance, and it is pitched as Shrek meets The Princess Bride. Let me repeat that. Shrek meets The Princess Bride. I need this immediately. Shrek, the fact that the author's name is Fiona, gagged to the high heavens. Shrek meets The Princess Bride in this cozy, low-stakes romantic fantasy. Sir Bram Duncan was once a knight of legend in Harvest Hollow, until the whim of a jealous prince and the trickery of an autumn sprite turned him into the hulking orc Jask Bonecracker and tethered him to Grimroot Farm. For 3 long, lonely years, he's hidden his monstrous form and the truth of what happened the night he lost everything, including his true love, Princess Marigold. Fleeing an arranged marriage to the vain and intolerable Prince Crispin, Marigold finds a safe haven when she stumbles across Jask's charmed pumpkin farm deep in the forest. Sensing glimmers of gentleness and a surprising talent for baking, beneath the grumpy orc's imposing exterior, she begins to feel a familiar longing she believed dead when her Bram disappeared. Okay. I need this the second midnight strikes on September 1st. Genuinely. Oh my God, I need this now. Shrek in 2026, I think Shrek is everyone's favorite movie of all time. The older I get, the better Shrek is. The more I relate to the humor in Shrek, and the more I relate to Shrek. Get out of my swamp. Don't talk to me. Leave me alone. You know what I mean? Anyway, I'm excited for this. I truly cannot wait. This is a high priority up on my list for fall. All right, the last book that I want to mention coming out on September 1st is Scion by James Islington. I haven't read anything by James Islington. I have a ton of his fantasy books on my physical TBR that I want to eventually get to, but I believe this is his first sci-fi book, and it says it's John Wick meets Blade Runner in this fast-paced cyberpunk thriller. Is this a standalone? Because if it's a standalone, I think I might get into this. On Goodreads, it doesn't say that it's the first book in a series. If this is a standalone, I'm definitely diving into this. But if it's the first book in a series, then at least it's on my radar. But I just wanted to bring that up because I think it's cool that, a very popular fantasy author is coming out with a sci-fi book. So that is Scion by James Islington. Next are all the books coming out on September 8th. And we have a ton here as well. The first being Sophie Standing There by Meg Mason. I have never read anything by Meg Mason, but this book sounds really interesting to me. The premise is that Sophie Pattison loves books. And as well as a dream job at a local book festival, she has a husband she adores, a lifelong best friend, Emma, and a brother she's always been close to, which makes you wonder why, since Christmas, Sophie has been living alone, estranged from Emma, avoiding her brother, and about to be fired. Now it feels like the only thing she has left is reading. When Sophie rediscovers an author she first read in her 20s, the words on the page reach her in a new way, becoming both solace and company. Devouring every one of her novels, Sophie begins to dream of meeting her, knowing she never will. But what if she did? What if by then the author feels like a friend? What if for Sophie, it feels almost like love? I'd never read anything by this author, but when I saw that this book was centered around a woman that feels lonely and finds solace in books, I was like, yeah, let me add it to the list. If you've read any of Meg Mason's book, let me know if you enjoyed her writing, but this one was definitely on my radar for that reason. So that is Sophie Standing There. Next, we have The Pirate Queen by Ariel Lawhone. I believe this is a historical fiction fantasy book. It says, Grace O'Malley was born to be at sea. Raised alongside her brother by their father, chief of the name of Clan O'Malley, Grace learns early that her dreams of the open water are not compatible with the life she's expected to lead as the daughter of a noble family. And when her father marries her to the wrong man, a neighboring chief named Donald, Grace's world shifts for the worst. Oh my God. And then it says, eventually ousted from her husband's land in the wake of his death, Grace returns to her childhood home and begins her career as a pirate in earnest, claiming new territories and finding deeper love, only to see her livelihood threatened by English incursions into Ireland and her family endangered in an attempt to check her power. Iconic. I need this. You guys know I love any books that have to do with pirates, the open seas. I love it. I'm so excited for this. And I've never heard of this author before. I don't know if she's written anything. Let's see. Oh, she was the author of The Frozen River, which I've seen 1,000,001 times everywhere. I've never read that book. Is that a good book? It has a 4.37 average rating with 678,000 ratings. That's crazy. I might have to dive into that. I'm excited for this. Oh my God, I'm excited for this. I can't wait to read about another badass pirate queen. Next, on September 8th, we have Love Felt Like This by Julie Olivia. This is the author of If It Makes You Happy, which was a fall rom-com that took place in the 90s, and I absolutely loved that book. That was a 5 out of 5 star book for me, and I'm excited for this author's next book. This one is about a grumpy rock star and a joyful children's show creator revive television magic in this cozy small town romance. Now, I'm not really into rock star romances. However, I'm not into them when we're in the life of a rock star, all the fame, the chaotic life, but this seems more cozy. It doesn't seem like he's gonna be in the limelight or anything. Griffin Harvey lives his life in the spotlight, reluctantly. The brooding, famous singer-songwriter is on the cusp of composing his sophomore album, if only he could find the right notes. But after gaining custody of his 2-year-old daughter, the only music he's writing about is about shapes and counting to 10. That's cute. Enter Beverly, who lives her life in the background producing children's television and laughter. Except joy is hard to find when her nonprofit loses funding. She sinks all of her savings to revive the children's show by herself, but when her variety show appearances collides with Griffin's, their banter and chemistry is caught on live television. Okay, I'm gonna eat this up. I'm ready to dive into another romance by this author. All right, next no, don't judge me, okay? But next we have Big Bad Wolf by Lori Gilmore. Listen, okay? This is the author of The Pumpkin Spice Cafe, which I mean, if you have been living under a rock, you probably don't even know what that is. But if you haven't, and you've spent maybe a millisecond on Book Talk or any book social media space, then you know what The Pumpkin Spice Cafe is, right? And listen, I know how trashy that book is. Okay, I do. But I ate it up because like it was cozy, it was fall, it was cliche, it was like a Hallmark movie. Like it was just the vibes and what I needed at the time when I read it. Okay, and don't judge me. Do I think it's the like pinnacle of literature? No, it's not. No, it's not. And we know that. I'm not trying to argue that it is, but I had a good time reading that, right? This author is coming out with Big Bad Wolf, and it is a brand new paranormal romance set in the small town of Maple Hollow. It looks like it's a Little Red Riding Hood retelling. The cover eats. The cover's iconic. And you know what? I'm probably gonna read this when I want something to read just to turn my brain off and entertain me, okay? What can I say? I'm gonna leave that at that, okay? Big Bad Wolf. All right, the next book coming out on September 8th is in a similar vein. It is Meet Cute Magic by Morgan Elizabeth. I love Morgan Elizabeth's books. She is one of the only romance authors that genuinely writes humor in a way that will actually make me laugh out loud, cackle at these books. I love the banter between her characters. Sometimes the scenes in her books of what her characters get into is just really funny. And this is going to be another paranormal romance, whimsy, fall, spooky vibe type of book. And I'm here for it. It says, she's a witch who can't fall in love without getting her heart broken. He holds a grudge like no other. Bookstore owner Rosie Mayfield wants a love of her own, but it's not meant to be because of her family's curse. To break it, she conjures a ghost who will break her curse, but for a cost. She has to brew a potion to help him transition to the other side. The problem, there's only one person who hates Rosie in all of Heartwood Hollow, and she needs his help to complete the required task. Jack Haggerty, the ghost's grandson, has lamented about Rosie for years. She's a disaster and she's forbidden from visiting his gaming shop. He doesn't believe in ghosts, so he's stunned when his beloved grandfather makes an appearance. While he loves his family and will do anything to help his grandpa, he fights against the chemistry brewing between him and Rosie until he can't anymore. Yeah, I'm gonna eat it up. I'm sorry, I'm a fall, cozy, whimsical fantasy type of bitch. You know what I mean? It's my favorite season. I'll read any book set in fall, any witchy romance. Yeah, I'm all about that. Next on September 8th, we have She's a Doll by Barbara Truelove. This is the author of Monsters and Mainframes, which is on my TBR. I still haven't gotten to it, but this book sounds iconic. This is a horror queer novel, and I'm so excited for this. Lucy McQuinn has been murdered, but she's not about to go quietly. If she doesn't get to keep breathing, then neither does Kyle, her killer. Possessing the body of an antique doll, she sets out on a quest for revenge. But it's hard when you're 18 inches tall and made of porcelain. Absolutely iconic, no notes. I can't wait to read this. This is going to be the perfect book to read during spooky season, and I'm so ready for it. All right, next on September 8th, we have With All My Haunted Heart by Isabel Sterling, and this is a paranormal, witchy, cozy, sapphic romance. Yeah. You guys know I'm on the hunt for good sapphic romances, and this is a new one coming out. A witch hired to ethically haunt a small town B&B finds herself spellbound by her non-magical client in this cozy and enchanting sapphic romance. Ready for it, dying to read this. I can't wait. The cover is so cute. A spooky romance, sapphic. Yeah. This is on my list for sure. Then we have The Witches of Cambridge by Alice Hoffman. This is from the author of Practical Magic, and I have not read Practical Magic, but this is going to be the year. Okay, I have the book. This is going to be the year that I read Practical Magic. Okay, it is long overdue. I can't believe I've never read it, never watched the movie. I need to read it, and then I need to watch the movie. Yes, I do. This is a new series from that author called The Witches of Cambridge series. This follows two brilliant young women in 1950s Cambridge, Massachusetts, as they become immersed in a mysterious secret group of witches at Radcliffe known as the Lilith Society. That sounds amazing. Oh my God, I want to read this before I read Practical Magic. No, I need to read Practical Magic first. I need to read that first. And then I want to get to this because this sounds incredible. Then the last book that I have for you coming out on September 8th is one that has been circulating a lot in social media that I've seen, and that is Tempest by Victoria Aveyard. I never read Red Queen because by the time that came out, I was already in college and I wasn't really reading YA books anymore. So I've never read anything by Victoria Aveyard, but I know that she is a very well-loved, YA author, and this is, I believe, is this her adult debut? I think. But this is an epic adventure of love and betrayal amid a brutal war for the high seas. There are pirates, babe. Pirates. What did I say before, guys? You know me. I love anything that has to do with pirates. So it is the first in the series, so I don't know if I'm going to wait until the rest of the series is out because I don't like to start series that aren't finished, but this is definitely on my radar for sure. Next, we have all of the releases coming out on September 15th. The first being, of course, Grim Tidings by B.K. Borison. I absolutely loved Good Spirits when I read it last year. This is a Christmas holiday romance. This one, I believe, is the romance between an angel and a Grim Reaper. I need this immediately. Yes, I do. And the cover is a work of art. The cover is stunning. B.K. Borison is hit or miss. I DNF'd their contemporary romance that came out this year, which was And Now Back to You. Yikes. But her Christmas fantasy paranormal romance book, that Good Spirits, worked for me last year. So maybe this one will work for me too. This sounds really good. So I'm hoping this is good. Ooh, and then I have Rooted by Leopoldo Gout, and this is the author of Pinata, which is a horror book that came out, oh my God, I think I read that years ago, I think 2023, 2022, but that book genuinely creeped me out because I listened to the audiobook, and the narrator did the voice of the haunted spirit so creepily that it sent chills down my spine. I loved that book. It was so good. Not just the horror aspect of it, but also the themes that, the book explored as well. And I'm so excited to get another book by this author because I don't think since that book came out, this author has come out with anything. Yeah, the last book that they came out with was Pinata in 2023. So I'm excited to get another horror book from this author because I loved Pinata. This one says that it is one woman's return to Mexico City as she digs away the layers of her forgotten past and the Aztec gods she awakened. I didn't even know that that's what this was about. I just saw that it was by this author and I was like, yeah, add it. I need this immediately. An Aztec god? Iconic. Yeah. High on my list. This is perfect for spooky season. I'm so excited. All right, next we have Thank You for Remembering by Emily Harding. This is a contemporary romance about a woman who wakes up with amnesia to a totally different life and teams up with her charming new neighbor to piece together her missing memories. I love a good amnesia trope done well. So we'll see how this one does, but this is definitely on my radar. It's been a hit or miss for me with contemporary romances, but I haven't seen one with an amnesia trope in a while, so this popped up on my radar because of that. I'm hoping it does the trope justice. I'm really hoping. Next is If Not You by Ellen O'Clover. This is another contemporary romance, and it says 5 years of history, 4 weeks on the road, 2 rival copywriters, learning love is the hardest sell of all. I think this is a fall. I mean, the cover is giving fall to me. It's giving fall. So I hope it's a fall romance. We'll see. Next is Doomsdate by Laura Piper Lee. This author came out with a book called Potshot, and I read the arc of it, but I DNF'd it because I just could not stand the male main character whatsoever. But I loved the author's writing, and I love the humor and the banter between the characters, and it was so fucking funny. Genuinely laughed out loud because I liked that author's writing so much. I'm excited about this one. It says, when a first date between a doomsday prepper and a nerdy film professor goes horribly, zombie apocalypse level wrong, the mismatched pair team up on a road trip to safety in this delightfully feral rom-com. Love. I'm so excited for this. I know it's going to be funny. It's going to be crazy. I can't wait. And again, the cover eats. It really does. Last, on September 15th, I have Exit Party by Emily St. John Mandel. I still have yet to read anything by this author, but I wanted to put this on your radar because I know this author is really popular, and this one actually sounds really interesting. It is a breathtaking novel of doubles, shadow worlds, and fractured timelines as a man disappears from a glittering Los Angeles party and a woman, a gun runner, an art collector, an operative of the state, searches for answers. I'm really interested in this one. I think I might read this before I read any of their other works because this sounds fascinating. I'm not really sold on Station 11, truly. I really wanted to read it just because it's so popular, but the premise doesn't sound as interesting to me as this one does. So I might go for this one first. All right, then we have all of the books coming out on September 22nd. And the first one on my radar is Let's Kiss and Tell by Joss Richard. Now, I did DNF this author's debut novel, which was It'll Be Different This Time, because I could not stand the female main character of that book. However, similar to Laura Piper Lee, I loved the author's writing. I really enjoyed their writing. It really was just the character that I couldn't stand. So I definitely want to give the author another chance. It says it's a workplace romance, fake dating, 90s rom-com, nostalgia, and spice. Okay, 90s rom-com? Yeah, you got me. Yeah, I definitely want to read this one. Just to give the author another chance, because I think it was really just the character in the first book that I couldn't get past, but maybe this one will work for me. Who knows? Next, coming out on September 22nd, oh my God, our queen, Tananarive Due, she's back. She's back with a book called Maisie Wood. Yeah, it says All the Sinners Bleed, oh my God, meets My Sister the Serial Killer in this literary thriller following the grandson of a famous black actress from the 1940s and 50s, now a filmmaker himself, who returns to his grandmother's cabin retreat in the California mountains only to encounter the legacy of her rage. Yeah, Tananarive. I read The Reformatory by this author. Absolutely brilliant, fantastic book. I can't wait for this. This is going to be another perfect book for spooky season. Oh my God, I cannot wait. I cannot wait. And this author's writing, if you have not read anything by Tananarive Due, put down whatever book you're reading right now and pick up one of her books because iconic, absolutely iconic. Next, I have a romance release that I'm so excited about, and that is Isn't He Romantic by Adib Khorram. This is the third book in their Love on the Vine series. I was lucky enough to be sent the e-arc by the publisher, so I'm so excited. Thank you so much. This follows like a group of best friends, and they're all romances, and I believe this is a third best friend. We follow Arya, and it says, to deter his ex, a lovelorn cellist starts a fake relationship with his one-night stand in this steamy, swoony, fake dating romance. Oh my God, I'm already obsessed. Already obsessed. I know I'm going to love this. Then next, I have a book called Witch Daughter by Tanaz Batena. This is a book that weaves a tale of love and loss in ancient Persia with her take on the timeless tragedy of Tamine, a temptress, a witch, a victim, or perhaps a woman trying her hardest to protect her loved ones. So it seems like this is a mythology retelling of the Princess Tamine. This seems so fascinating. However, I will say that this is the author's adult debut, and they've only ever written YA in the past. And similar to how I feel about Victoria Aveyard, I've tried authors who have written adult debuts when they've only written YA before, and it hasn't really worked for me because their adult debuts still almost read like YA. The characters still feel very juvenile. The plot still feels very predictable, and it doesn't seem like there's as much depth as I would want in an adult novel. And so I don't know how it's going to go. We will see though. We will see. This is on my list. The cover, again, I don't know what the cover is for September. Stunning. Yeah, really excited because anything that has to do with retellings or mythology from a culture or a place that I've never been to or don't know much about, I always love, learning about it, really being immersed in that culture. And so I'm excited about this one. Next, we have a book called You're the One That I Haunt by Katie Jung, another spooky fall romance. One of my favorite booktubers, Peace Love Books, literally just talked about this book because she read the arc of it and she loved it. So I know I'm going to love it because I love anything that she loves. This is about a girl who is in love with her best friend who's getting married. There's a curse on his family in that all of the men in his family die because of a taxi accident. And the ghost or spirit of his cousin that's currently in a coma comes to her, and they both try to come up with a way to break the curse. And of course, it's going to be her falling in love with his cousin instead. Iconic. It sounds like a 90s rom-com. I'm excited for it. I need this book immediately. Next, I have another horror book called Our Cut of Salt by Dina Helm. And it says it's about 3 generations of Palestinian women who must put the haunting of their ancestral home to rest before the secrets of the past drown them all. Yeah, Arcade of Salt is a powerful and intimate look at what it means to make a home, to lose it, and to return only to find it irrevocably changed. And again, the cover, so powerful, the ripping of the wallpaper, love. I need this. There are so many good horror books coming out for spooky season this year. I cannot wait to dive in. October is going to be a month for me. It's going to be a month. Yeah, it is. I know the horror books are coming out in September, but I'm going to read them in October because, I mean, I'm going to read them around Halloween. Come on. Then the last book coming out on September 22nd that I want to mention is, of course, a book I think everyone is talking about, and that is Hollywood Ending by John Green. I believe this is his first adult book too. So we'll see how that goes. It says it's his much anticipated return to fiction with a behind the scenes Hollywood love story that brilliantly confronts the private cost of a public life. I've never read anything by John Green, but I do have Everything is Tuberculosis on my physical TBR that I want to get to soon. But I'm excited for this because, again, you know, I've never read any of his YA stuff, but hopefully his adult stuff is good. We'll see. Okay, and then we have the final releases on September 29th. And the first that I have on that day is The Slayer Seduction by Sarah Blue. There is no summary on Goodreads, but this is the third book in the Celestial Witches series by this author. It's a paranormal series. I read the first book, The Marriage Hex. Loved that book down. Loved that book down. The second book, DNF'd her. Yeah, I did. It suffered second book syndrome again. I don't know what's going on with all the sequels coming out, but this is a third book. I'm hoping I enjoy this one because I still love this author's writing and I'm still trying to chase the high of the first book in the series. So hopefully this is good. Then of course we have Mestra by Madeline Miller coming out. And this is only gonna be 80 pages. It's a short story, but I mean, this is the author of The Song of Achilles. Do I still need to read Circe? Yeah, let's not talk about it, but I'm excited for this. It's a short story. So, you know, 80 pages long. I can get through it for sure in maybe like a couple of hours. And it says it vibrantly reimagines the powerful and forgotten myth of Mestra. So love that. Okay, and then, oh my God, I'm so excited for this book. Then we have The True Confessions of First Lady Freeman by Disha Filia. This is the author of The Secret Lives of Church Ladies, and I absolutely loved that book. But the premise of this book sounds absolutely iconic. It says, the wife of a popular and powerful megachurch pastor upends her charmed rags to Rolex life when her secret past comes roaring into the spotlight. And I love because the wife of a mega church pastor and like secrets coming out, because I know that world. I'm on the outside looking in, but it already looks insane. And I can't wait to get an inside look and just all the drama, the mess, the scandal. Ooh, I know this is gonna be juicy. Then we have Ply by Hernan Diaz, who is the author of Trust, which was a Pulitzer Prize winning book. I have the physical copy. It's on my TBR, on my list to get to. Obviously, I haven't read it yet, but I want to. And I just wanted to put this on everyone's radar because he's coming out with a new book and I have not heard anyone talk about it. And for that book having won the Pulitzer Prize and him being such a popular author, I haven't seen anyone talking about this book, but he's coming out with a new book in September. So that's crazy. I haven't heard anyone talk about it. The Pulitzer Prize winning author of Trust turns to the future with a novel that examines the place of technology in the American imagination. I do want to read Trust first before I get into any of his future works, but just wanted to put that on everyone's radar. Okay, and we've made it to the end of the list. The final book of new releases in September that I want to mention is American Hagwon by Min Jin Lee, and this is obviously the author of Pachinko, which I also have not read. Please don't come for me, okay? It's one of the books that I'm like very intimidated by. Anything that's like a really big historical fiction book, I'm like, ugh, yikes. And again, similar to Hernan Diaz, a very well-known, beloved author. Pachinko's huge. And I have not heard anyone talking about the fact that this author is coming out with a new book in September. I think that's kind of crazy that I have not seen anyone or seen any marketing for this book at all. Kind of crazy. It says, Min Jin Lee has written a masterpiece by turns sweeping and intimate, one that reckons with ambition and moderation, lust and loyalty, personal dreams, and familial duty. It does say it's going to be another historical fiction book, so I don't know. It might be another epic similar to Pachinko, but I think it's going to be different. In schools and churches, hotel rooms and nail salons, law firms and fried fish shops, in cramped, dingy apartments and luxury gated communities, the men, women, and children in American Hagwon struggle to find satisfaction and meaning in a world that seems to grow less forgiving with each passing year. I have to be in a certain mood to read historical fiction, but this is on my radar. Again, do I need to read Pachinko before I read this? Yeah, but I did want to let it be known that this author is coming out with a new book in September. If you read Pachinko or you like books like Pachinko, this author is coming out with a new book. Her and Hernan Diaz are getting pushed to the sidelines. I don't know what's going on there, but they're coming out with new books, guys. So Put that on your radar. Okay, I am tired of talking. I need to drink a gallon of water. But those are all of the new releases coming out in September that I am really excited for and are also on my radar. So many good books coming out in September. And if there are any that you're excited about that I didn't mention, please leave it down below. I will take any recommendations. Just going through this list with you guys, again, is making me excited to read and giving me something to look forward to in September once this fucking season of summer is over. Ugh. Can't wait for fall, can't wait for September. We have a ton of books to look forward to that month, and I'm really excited. That is all I have for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.